Okay, next up we see a topic from pixels to prints, sculpting, CAD and 3D printing, anime and gaming creations. Funny enough, this was a work in progress title from Werner, and I just put it in there because you didn't change it. So next up is WF3D or WF3D, Werner Fugmann, and he's known as someone who does really big prints, and I think he will show us something about that. So give it up for Werner.
We had a lot of amazing talks right now. I think I have to step up my storytelling game. My presentation will be a bit different. I want to tell you what I do, but first of all, most of you won't know me because I'm making content in German actually. So I'm from a small town in Germany and just had the chance to present myself. My name is Werner, I'm 36, I have 2 kids, and actually I'm an engineer, as many of you, as I heard today, and I was working in the injection molding department at pharma and automotive, and also worked as a startup and currently running the startup hub like here, just in my small hometown. And since 2018, I'm making content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and initially started with reviews like everybody else. That's why these talks were really valuable also to me. And yeah, I play on every platform basically. I make only short form content, not so much long form content. And yeah, I post a lot of videos, and some of them went pretty viral, especially like 50 million views Pokemon videos, like some of you also probably made, and other videos on TikTok also. But enough about me, enough of bragging. What do I do? Basically, I watch a lot of anime. I played a lot of games. Now that I'm married and have 2 kids, they are pretty small. The gaming aspect is rather small, and I see it, I CAD it, so I use Fusion 360, and then I print it as large as possible. I'm really digging large prints, and I model most of my files myself, basically. I also, from time to time, also print other files, because there are amazing creators out there who make amazing files. So I print what I love, basically, from anime, gaming, and using 360, so CAD. Later we'll talk about sculpting also. But enough about that. Yeah, I CAD a lot of stuff. I'm not sure who of you is into gaming, who plays games. Yeah, some of them. You might recognize some of these, game-related props, knives, weapons, whatever. Just a side note, I don't do rifles or guns anymore so much, because on social media it's a problem. The algorithm basically punishes you because they don't want weapons, and it's okay with me. I understand it's a problem with that. Basically also, even if they are looking pretty realistic. This one is, for example, from Apex Legends. That's why I switched to large swords, hammers, and whatnot from different universes, and that's really what I like. And just to show you some stuff which I made, as you have seen, it's probably hard to tell which one is the CAD one. This is CAD and this is the real one, because I'm standing besides it, but they are really large. It's over 1.8 meters tall and weighs around 9 kilograms in total. And yeah, this is the most easy thing I do, because I CAD it and I straight printed in the respective colors. So I don't do anymore the finishing process, and I don't want to talk about the finishing process. It was a great workshop right now, which I also visited from Prusa. They tell you all the processes, how to finish, how to paint, and stuff like that. And I also did that back then, but right now I'm focusing on straight to print basically files from different universes. This is from Skeleton Crew, the lightsaber. Basically I made it and uploaded it. And also this is from Star Wars, because I made a Mandalorian cosplay, a full cosplay, and I made my own rifle, which has a working trigger. It's easy to print, split in multiple files. And that's basically what I love. Yeah, some other projects. This is, for example, this is Valorant. This is from a anime, Kaiju number 8, if you know it. And also another example, this was a commission work for a clan from Fortnite. They wanted to extend a contract with Acer Predator, and I made a crown for them so the player can wear it in a promotional shot. And that's not from anime gaming, but something which is related. So besides doing weapons, dangerous weapons, I also do some other stuff which is cool to look at. And the bottom one is from Naruto. That's a kunai. Yeah, and as said before, these are focused on straight to print, but I also from time to time still do some finishing work because I just enjoy it. This is, for example, from Fallout. If you watch the series, this is the tranquilizer. It's split for optimal printing into different pieces because you could just print it laying down and split it in half and then print it, but most of the surfaces will look really, really bad. And to optimize that, it's split into different pieces, so there's going much thought process into modeling and later splitting the whole model for optimal printing. And the same here, as you can see, this is from Warhammer, it's a chain axe. You can see the different pieces, so it's easy to print and easy to print in the respective colors, but you can also, like here, finish it and you have an FDM print as a basis because that's the most common 3D printer, I would say, besides resin printing. Then you have a lot of sanding because you can see the shiny surfaces. There goes some effort into it. And then you're using basically multiple paints and also add some weathering, as you can see, to make it look more realistic, more gory. Yeah, and another example is my Witcher sword from the series, from the Netflix series. I just was stoked about the sword. It was just amazing, and I wanted to see if I can make it in an FDM print. Back in the time, this was from 2019. It's a rather old one. I think this was kind of the limit of what was possible in terms of everything. Also, these small bits and knots were 3D printed on the FDM printer and then finished basically. Was printed on a Prusa, standing upright, these really small surfaces in PETG. So that was like peak, I would say, of possibility back then. And now with Core XY, it's even easier to print small surfaces or these thin parts especially. And sorry, this is the wrong picture. This is the actual finished product in the end. And the key thing is you maybe notice it has some cracks in it, yeah. And with every print you're doing, with every prop you're doing, you're learning on the way. I watch a lot of content, Punished Props, for example, English channel. I learned a lot. Right now I was at the workshop just for 10 minutes, and I even then learned a lot of stuff. He had a nice filler, which makes it really easy to get from the FDM print to your finished product, and you will learn along the way. It's not on failure. Yeah, I have to up to today, and I'm really proud about the print, about how it's finished, and I see it as a rewarding thing in my progress to get better, basically. And sometimes I even go above and beyond. This is not my model, this is for 3D Workbench, a good buddy of mine. He's making insane props, cosplay, and robots, which I like to print. And for example, this was resin printed, then it was sanded. I used spray paint, I used airbrush, I used latex spray for the grip to get a really nice finish, and then it was weathered. And also the weight is very important. If you on video, nobody would recognize it or would reward you for what I've put in. It really weighs like a real gun almost, because I filled the whole resin print with acrylic. And it's really realistic, and I've just put the effort in for myself. Yeah, I really liked it, and this was like the pinnacle of what I've made, also with airbrushing. And yeah, there's more than props. For example, this is very interesting. I just last minute added this to the slides because I found it funny. I designed these small pixels. They are 20 by 20 millimeters big, and designed these clips. So every pixel can clip into another pixel, and sometimes they have one connection or 4 connection points. And it takes a lot of time, I can tell you, to assemble this one. But I just found it funny and beautiful to make like a 2D, 3D pixel art thing, whatever, I'm not sure. And this is, for example, what it looks like to make a Mario. I just also did it for myself, and I learned a lot of techniques or about tolerances, about snap fits, on the way. I'm not sure how many iterations it takes to make this snap fit, 20, 30 iterations. So only 1 week or 2 weeks goes into designing these pixels, and then you have to arrange every color, every rotation manually, and you need to enjoy that, honestly. You really need to enjoy that, and sometimes it's not only no props, because in the end, this was my end goal. I wanted to make a Minecraft diamond sword out of these pixels, which I then eventually did. And I really liked it, but I also put most of my files online, most of them also for free, and nobody printed them because, I'm not sure. Nobody wants to spend like 1 week just assembling this thing. So I really also redesigned the stuff to make it just smaller, easier printable. I, again, over-engineered probably in Fusion the snap fits to make it just really clicky, really nice, also for the views on the videos, to make ASMR content. And in the end, you know what happened right now. There are on MakerWorld, for example, there's an automated tool to make pixel prints. So again, I'm not fed up with that. It's no problem. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about tolerances again, and that's basically the whole journey. You don't have to see it as a failure. I learned a lot, and every skill contributes to what I ever make next. That's really important. And that's basically me and sitting in front of Fusion. I have over 300 CAD projects in Fusion, and I can tell you not every project has seen the daylight. There's much stuff hidden in there which I will never touch or never show because they're not finished or not nice. And the question is, how did I start? I was an engineer, but I had nothing to do with CAD. Nothing at all. We were building injection molding forms, basically, and I was in the R&D department managing the project. But I just started with 3D printing now 9 years ago in 2016, and because I was injured in soccer, and I said, okay, I need a new hobby. I said I stopped soccer, and now I'm going to build a 3D printer. It was pretty dangerous. That was my 3D printer, my first one. I literally bought a book in German. It said how to build a 3D printer out of wood, and that's what I made. And my first project in Fusion back in 2017 was a practical part. It was a replacement part for a Hemnes shoe cabinet. The original hinge part just broke after a couple of weeks, and I made a new one, which was better, obviously. It was thicker, and up to this day, it's still in the cabinet and it's still working. So I started practical, not with fun stuff, I would say. But my goal was to learn about 3D printing and improving, and there were many failures on the way because 2017 I started with this simple part, and the next project was like, okay, I want to make a robot. That's not how it goes. So that's the actual file status, which is up to this date not finished, obviously, and I also will never touch it again, I think. But again, I learned. And I improved over time with all these projects. Because I got there out of my first printer, and through RepRap spirit, I built the next printer. I printed the parts for the next printer, and also wanted to improve this printer. It was a Hypercube. I'm not sure if anybody knows this printer back there. Okay, you're nodding. But I don't like, up to this day, Bowden extruders. So I used the Mark II extruder from Prusa, the files, modified them, and put them on my Core XY machine to make it better, because Prusa files make everything better. Call me later. I also put the files online, obviously, but this was before printables even existed, so people can download it and rebuild it, basically. And I said I got better eventually. There are some projects which I never finished. This should have been a Mac. I'm not sure if you can tell. But again, I'm showing you it not to embarrass myself, just to emphasize that you will make a lot of errors or many projects which just help you get better. That's the whole deal. Not everything, like creating videos, it's the same process. You think, okay, this project will be my breakthrough, my masterpiece, yeah? This will be great. And in the end, you look at it and say, ooh, I can't show this because it looks stupid. Nowadays, I'm confident to say, okay, I would even show this because others can learn from that or can laugh at you. It's good for interactions, but back then I didn't show anybody and just valued my process of learning during this journey. And I think for most people it looks pretty simple to make stuff like that. It's like, okay, I also get contacted, can I have like an X or something, because it's just hitting print, but that's not the case. For every prop I make a prototype. And there's a lot of prototyping going into that, because if something is 1.8 meters tall, you have to think about other stuff like structural integrity, how you will assemble this, and for example, for this one, how to put it on a small printer, because I don't have like a super large printer like the Orange Storm, for example, with 1 meter cubed build volume. I just use the state-of-the-art printers. For example, this is printable on a 250 millimeter bed volume. So other people also can print it, obviously. Yeah. Primarily, I do what I love for me, but also others can enjoy the files and print something like that. So you have a lot of plastic packs to print, but you also need one big rod to put in. Otherwise, the thing would break instantly, and that's not what I want. Yeah, also, which I showed you before, this is the rifle I designed. Everything is optimized for multicolor printing, for easy assembly. The only thing is you need some glue, basically. You have also a working trigger, which comes right off the print bed, which is moving. And you also have the orange tip for safety reasons if you go to a con, because there are certain limitations on real-looking guns. And again, you don't have to sand and print and paint everything, because it's tedious. Yeah? You have to have the space and the time, and you really have to want it to do it, basically. And if you're a creator, yeah, the views are not that rewarding showing that. If you're not in the pinnacle of making, honestly, and I'm also not in the pinnacle of making these parts. In the beginning, that was my goal. When I started YouTube, I just showed my Hypercube printer, like, okay, this is a Hypercube. I was making content in English back then, and just showed my journey, how I got into 3D printing and how I learned 3D printing, basically. And later on, I just discovered, okay, I want to make cool stuff. Yeah, that's my goal. And for example, in this rifle, this is from Apex. The modeling back then took me around 40 hours. I was really slow. I was a beginner. This was one of my first bigger pieces. And then another 40 to 50 hours finishing it. Yeah, just going over and over, sanding, filling, painting, weathering until I am happy with the result. And nobody really can see it on the video. Also because of my bad video editing skills and photography, which I have to improve. And sometimes even, this is for example from Destiny, Jade Rabbit, I didn't have the time to really finish it. I just put them out, and in my head were so many projects. I started with the next one. Everybody of you probably has this box of unfinished projects, or many boxes of them. I also have them, but that's okay. I again learned much about designing these files, and I kept on making the next one. So, and something which is really important for me to tell you is you always have to look how the market or the state of the art is evolving. So, as seen back then, I made a lot of prints which I then finished or painted, and as multicolor printing happened, it was great for me, and nowadays all my files are either split for easy multicolor printing, or I have a maximum of 4 colors. You can directly multicolor print it, so everybody can enjoy these files, and there's no like gatekeeping with skill. So you can get really easy on prop for yourself and make it really easy by hitting print if you don't have the CAD skills, for example. And as mentioned earlier, I also like to sculpt. I'm using Nomad Sculpt on a really, really old Samsung Galaxy Tab. It's crashing like for every design 5 to 10 times, but it's okay for me. And also the same here, my first sculpt was absolutely bad. It was really, really bad. I have no idea. There's like some kind of Polymaker logo as an ear. It was not intentional. But again, you have to start somewhere. Back then in 2020, I had COVID. I had this tablet lying around. I bought Nomad Sculpt. It's super easy. And just hit sculpt, so to say. And then I put it aside because I was super frustrated because my CAD skills were quite okay. And this was a whole new journey, new universe for me. It is a different technique. And after a couple of weeks, I restarted this. These were not made with an online tool. Back then, I designed them myself just because I said, okay, I want to learn this technique. I watch a lot of videos, and I have to start simple. That's the second thing you have to learn. Don't go on the highest level if you're just starting out. Use some small projects, some simple projects to just learn. And these were the first like cute designs I just made in Nomad Sculpt, and they were basically very easy. Yeah? They're easy to sculpt, and the learning journey was really rewarding. Yeah? I'm a reward-oriented learner. Yeah? I need some successes to keep on making. And these were perfectly fit for myself. If you always try to make the best thing better than everybody else, you will fail a lot, and that's not my process. And what is really important for myself, learn from others. There are really insane, great creators out there. I follow, for example, Above Wong Art. He's 100 times better than myself. He should be standing here and telling you about sculpting. I think he's also a arts background, and his sculpts in Nomad Sculpt are absolutely insane. Yeah, you have to have some idols to aspire to, and I also wrote to him, and we just talked a little bit. It's really great to have these talks and to really engage and learn from them. Another creator is Bill Ellis. He's using mainly ZBrush and Cinema 4D, as I know. And he's making all this stuff which you see here in 3D and making art prints from that. And it's really important if you want to make something to get some inspiration. Nowadays, it's much easier. You can also go to ChatGPT and say, okay, I need an inspiration for something, just make me some pictures, and then you see something, it's also okay, I do it also. But back then, I followed these accounts, and they inspired so much to learn just more. And many people share so much knowledge online, you don't have to take any courses. So for Fusion, for Nomad Sculpt, I didn't take any course. It's okay to do it, obviously. It's the short route, but there's so much content out there, you can learn basically anything. That's very important. And yeah, sorry, I also made articulated dragons. The main reason was because I wanted to learn just different techniques in Nomad Sculpt. So there's so much to discover, and mine was larger than anybody. It was like 1.20 meters long. That was very important for me, but I also took part in that. Yeah. And as said, small steps make you better. Yeah. This, for example, is a very simple mask from Naruto, and I just printed it in white and then hand painted it. And this one is from Demon Slayer, and this one I made for men's health awareness on Movember, for example. I had a collaboration in my town, and these are the latest creations I made in Fusion, in Nomad Sculpt, sorry, just Oni masks. I really dig these Japanese style demon Oni masks because I watch a lot of anime stuff. And as you can see, these were my starting points, basically, or this one. And right now I'm making, these kind of masks. It's just a learning curve. Yeah, you have a lot of bad ones before, and then the next one will always be better than your last one. And I try to make them just nicer and with even more details, and always keep in mind that they have a better or same level of printability, so others can also print these. For example, this one is printable on a regular standard machine nowadays because you can take the horns off and print them separately, for example. Yeah, And this one is, I'm still using the same tablet up to this day. It's from 2019. It's a Samsung Galaxy Tab, and it's still working. It's crashing from time to time, but I'm absolutely happy using it, and also showing like the process online, how to do that, and just sharing the knowledge which is available in this space, especially in English, to a German audience, basically. And what's the key point of my talk? I try to make a little bit of a difference in the stuff I make. I print every model often multiple times before making the final one or releasing the files until I'm happy. So as you can see, I made some really big prints, and I have some really big box of scraps which I send to Recycling Fabrik because I mainly print in PLA nowadays. But that's my standard. I really want to make a really good file. At some point you have to cut off. You know the 80-20 principle. That's very important. But I also try to learn as much skills as possible. So I wouldn't say I mastered CAD, but I'm good at CAD. I started sculpting. Back then I was spraying with spray cans. Okay, I want to learn airbrushing. And that's really, really important for me, because I think every skill I learn on the way makes everything better. So they contribute to the next project in any kind of way. I made, for example, a Iron Man helmet in the back with LEDs and moving parts. Also something I wanted to learn. Back then there were no ready to download files, no code. I made a code myself. This was 2017, before everyone printed Iron Man helmets, but I made one and I never made one again. I learned it and it's okay, back in the box. And it feels great to combine the stuff, basically. This, as said, is made in CAD, but something like that, I have no idea how to make that in Fusion 360. So I modeled it completely from scrap in Normal Sculpt, then imported it into Fusion 360, cut it to shape, and added it to my Thunderhammer, and it's also cut and perfectly to print. So again, I couldn't have done it like 5 years ago, but now that I am fond in Normal Sculpt, I can do something like that. And in the end, build what you love and don't care about anything. This was like one of my pinnacle builds. This is my Mandalorian cosplay, where everything combined, like it's modeling the mines with LEDs, modeling the rifle, printing everything, painting everything. I learned new techniques like 2K clear codes and stuff like that. And I was recently at the con and had great feedback about that. And it's like, okay, it's really great, and the next one will be even better. So that's basically everything I want to tell you about my process of making anime and gaming-related prints. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Werner. I think it's a great view into like what's printing, what's possible with 3D printing and also sculpting. So thank you for that. Are there any questions? There's a question.
Hello. Thanks for sharing this. I would like to ask you, right now when you are sculpting or designing something in CAD, are you thinking about if you're going to be printing this on FDM or resin? Do you take any any specific design for that? Or you're just copying exactly as it is and not worrying about if you need support or anything like that?
So I mainly make everything for FDM. That's just my thing. I have a resin printer, but it makes a lot of mess. I don't really like the process. But I model it completely. And then when I'm splitting the models, I'm thinking about printability. So how to rotate a part so it needs no support. Some of my files need absolutely no supports because you want it easy to be printed, basically. Sometimes I take like the route of adapting a model and changing like the model a little bit to make it better printable, to have no floating surfaces if you print it out, for example. But I really like to stick to the original design as much as possible. But at some points I'm taking little shortcuts.
One more question? No? Okay, I mean, also we're like perfectly finished with this. Thank you so much, Werner. If you have more questions, ask him. And we're going to have...
Watch our project zoom.